So what we're doing here today is going through the process of taking a basically unedited thesis site and taking it from this position here to something that looks like this, with a logo, a place for affiliate advertising or for AdSense advertising, a menu here in this menu bar with a search bar, and then down below that another set of menu tabs. And so we're just going to walk through the pieces of that step by step, which start with adding the background images to the site. Now, as I describe what's going on here, you'll learn that we're doing this in the full width framework of Thesis, and the header area actually spans from the top of the page down to the underside of this green stripe. So if we turn that color on for just a second, that is the header area. And so because we want that to be the header area, the image that we're going to put in here for the background of this page actually has to exist in the header area and in the content area. So the consequence of that is that this image, this background image, is going to go inside of body, where the background image for the navigation menu is going to go inside of header area. And that's what we're going to do right now. And we're going to do that using the Thesis Full Width Backgrounds plugin, which you can download from here under Full Width Backgrounds plugin. In order for this to work, you have to be logged in. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. I have to go back over to that. And then we'll just go ahead and select the download button and download the plugin. And there it is, downloaded. So we'll go ahead and start with this one. We'll start off here in the... So what we'll do then is we will we're going to go over here to plugins and installed plugins, and then we're going to upload that plugin. Choose the file from where it's been saved, which in my case is under downloads. And upload that and install it. Now, once we have that plugin installed, we get this little menu down here, and we'll select the Full Width Backgrounds plugin. And what we're going to do is first select those background areas that we're going to customize. And actually, in this case, we'll end up customizing everything. So we'll just select all of those and hit save. And we're going to start off by customizing the customizing the header. And if we take a look at the header background area for a moment, this header background area from here to here is 280 pixels tall. So that's the height that we're going to set for that background. So we'll set a height of 280 pixels tall for that header area. And then we need to select the background image that we want to place there. So we'll go ahead and expand that for a second. And that background image we're going to get from our media library. Now the background image we're using here is this background header cropped image. So if we select Edit and copy, and come back over to this, scroll down to the background image and paste the URL of the background image there. Then we choose how we want it to repeat, and in this case we only want it to repeat horizontally. We don't want it to repeat vertically, so we'll repeat it horizontally. We'll go ahead and start this background image at the top left, which means we don't need to select our horizontal and vertical positions, because what it's going to do is just start in the top left corner of that area and then repeat it in the horizontal direction. So we'll also just go ahead and say that we want the content area dot page to be transparent, and we'll be good with that. And I think we can just go ahead and hit save. And then if we refresh this, we should see our image here running across this section. The header area actually comes down to here someplace, but we've got this image right where we want it in terms of where we're going to place our navigation menu. So the next thing we'll be doing then is placing our page background. So we'll come back over to our media library, scroll down to our page background, and actually we need to upload a new page background color or background image. So we'll go ahead and say add new, and then I'm going to demonstrate the WordPress 3.3 drag and drop feature here by dragging it from the location to where we want it. We're going to use the page background 1220 and drop it there. And I think that's all we're going to need to do for the time being. So now we'll go ahead and once it indicates that it's been completed, we'll go ahead and copy the URL and come back over here to full width backgrounds. And now in our content area background, we don't set a height for the content area. The content area just automatically becomes whatever the amount of space is needed in order to provide it. So we will, however, set a background image, and we don't really need a background color, but we also don't need the background to be transparent, but we will set a background image. Actually, that's my mistake entirely. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the page background. Now remember, as we said earlier, we're going to put the page background actually inside of the body background styles rather than the content area background style. So we'll take our body background style and we're going to place the background image there. We are not going to repeat it. And ultimately we're not going to use this setting either, but for the time being we'll just go ahead and say top center so you can see what happens when we use this setting. And then we're going to come down to our header area and just make sure that we said it was transparent so we can see it. So we'll make the header area transparent, and we'll make the header area page transparent, and we'll make the content area transparent, and the content area dot page transparent so we can see that page, so we can see this image through it. And now we'll just go ahead and hit save. Now it's not going to be located where we actually want it to be located, but we're going to move it into the right place next. So here it is now. We told it we want it top center, and so the image is now centered in the space we have available to us, and then it's placed up here at the top. What we really want to do though is we want to move it down 180 pixels so that it hits, or I'm sorry, move it down 220 pixels so that it hits the underside of this graphic. And then we want it to be centered in the space. So rather than using that top center designation, we're going to instead use a different designation, and that is here under, instead of top center, what we'll do is we're going to pick our horizontal position, and we're going to say 50%. So we select 50 and then say %, which centers the image in the horizontal direction. And then in the vertical position, we're going to say 220 pixels. And that will move it down 220 pixels. So the positive number moves the image towards the bottom. And a positive number here moves the image toward the right. So that's how these two things work. I'll go ahead and hit save to that. And now we should have that image properly lined up for us. If we refresh this, there we go. So now we've got our green background, which is where our menu with our tabs are going to go, sitting here, and it's now down below the navigation bar for the main header. And then the last thing we'll do is we'll add our footer background image here. And that footer background image has already been uploaded, so we just have to go and find it. And let's see, that is footer background. So we select edit and then copy the URL. Come back over here to footer background area. And now that URL, that image is 400 pixels tall, so we'll go ahead and specify a height of our footer. And then we're going to come down here to the background color and image. And we'll go ahead and make it transparent. We'll place our URL here. Again, we are not going to repeat this, so we'll select no repeat. And its location will be top center. An alternative to this would be select bottom center, which is another possibility, but at the moment we'll just go ahead and select top center. And then we want to make sure that the page area is transparent. And actually I'm going to show you what it looks like without the page area being transparent first, so you can see why it is we do that. So we'll go ahead and hit save. Come back over here and refresh. And so the reason why we make the page transparent is so that this section here, so we can see the gray, or we can see the image through this area, because this is the footer area.page right now. And so what we want to do is make that transparent so we can see the gray there. And so the way we do that is just to take this footer area.page and make it transparent. Back over and refresh it. And for the time being, it looks the way we want it to look.